Happy Bitcoin Pizza Day. Let me jump over on X, make sure people are hearing me over there real quick, since that's where most of my listeners are coming from. Pizza Day. Okay, yeah, it looks like they can hear me over there. I like to throw a little GM in the chat for get things started. But yeah, welcome everybody. It is Friday. It is Bitcoin Pizza Day. Let's take a look. Take a look at the markets. Nasdaq right here looks like it's up. 0.6% to the positive, so a little bit of positivity. I believe Monday's a holiday, and we will not have the market will not be open, so probably won't be here on Monday for opening bell crypto. But yeah, Nasdaq actually 0.64 to the green. Dow 0.59, S&P 0.59. So we'll take that. Let's look at how crypto's doing. Bitcoin 77,270. That's up 0.2% for the day. You can see the daily. You know, we hit almost 78. Not bad. Been choppy. To be expected on a week like this. The hourly, let's see, we're down a little bit since the market opened. Let's see if we come back a little with the market being green. I think potentially we will. That's on the hourly. Here's the daily. Not looking horrible on the daily, all things considered. Ethereum. Man, Ivan on Tech last night did a whole show on kind of how some of the mood and stuff behind Ethereum's changing. I've long been more bullish on. I used to almost be an Ethereum maxi. I've long been bullish on Solana over Ethereum. I own very little Ethereum now, but just kind of saying the sentiment's changing. A lot of the developers and stuff are leaving, and they're just, yeah, you maybe listen to that and see what you think. I don't know. I do worry though. I'm not going to lie when I see Tom Lee making these $100 million buys every couple weeks. But, and it's tricky, right? It's tricky when you build something as significant as Ethereum, but then times are changing. It's like changing a tire on a truck when you're moving or something. It's pretty tough, but I don't know if they're making the right moves or not. Time will tell. They still kind of have that network effect. And I think that could take them for a while. I think they have an opportunity to improve things. I don't know that the layer two has worked out all that great for them as far as their fees and everything like that. So I don't know. Maybe it's kind of cannibalized it a little. Anyway, it's a tricky thing, but I do think I still think we see all-time highs this cycle. We will see. But anyway, at least some FUD or some concern around Ethereum coming right now. XRP, no stranger to FUD, at $1.36.2. That is basically exactly flat for the day. So not really, up 0.1 for the day for the 24-hour. Solana, been a little more volatile than the others. It is at 87.25, up 1.7% on the daily. So not bad, all things considering. But there is some good news today. Michael's Saylor came out today and with Joe Kernan there and basically said he predicts Strategy will buy all the Bitcoin mined until 2040, especially with his new STRC. He's been doing great. We've been talking a lot about that. Pays 11.5% monthly, and they're trying to get it to do that every 2 weeks. And he's literally been buying more Bitcoin, way more Bitcoin being produced every day. I think it's around 400 Bitcoin gets produced every day right now. We're halfway to a halvening, which means that's going to go half of what it is today. So let's say it's 440 today. It'll go to 220 a day in a year, in 2 years. A little less than 2 years, actually. Um, so just one company, imagine one company buying all the new supply being created. And then what happens when there's every company buying? So, we saw Strive, Vivek Ramaswamy's company. They have a similar preferred stock that I think they pay 13%, and they pay it daily. I'm actually going to go in and buy a little of each of this just for fun. In my wife's Robinhood account, but I don't even have a U.S. bank account or a U.S. account at all, except for my CoinZoom account. But think about this. It's just, supply and demand. Think about, I say supply shock a lot. One company buying all the Bitcoin mined, and more companies starting to follow him. What he's doing with his STRC last week, he bought 220, 2 billion, 2.1 billion. But yeah, 2 billion, over 2 billion in 1 week. So he's getting fixed asset people coming in. He's taking it and he's buying Bitcoin. So he might buy again this week. I don't know. He's only missed 2 weeks now in about 30 weeks, or maybe even more. I don't know the exact number. I lose track, but he rarely doesn't buy. But anyway, big stuff, man. Big news. Also, President Trump will swear in Kevin Warsh as the new Fed chair today in about an hour and 15 minutes at 11 a.m. So the significance of this is he's the first Bitcoin, first Fed chair in history that's friendly to Bitcoin and owns Bitcoin. More importantly, really understands Bitcoin. So this is one of the things. And listen, I know he's not going to do exactly what Trump said, but I don't believe Trump would have brought him in if he doesn't believe he's going to turn the Fed on its, do some reforms, do some stuff. Trump's under a lot of pressure with housing, interest rates, with the debt coming up. Going to have to refinance $10 trillion worth of debt this year. I think we're paying an extra $1 trillion a year in debt alone on the interest on the debt, just because of how things, how high the interest rates are right now. So that's a big thing, I believe. We'll see. No one believes we're going to have interest rate cuts this year, but I do. I think a lot of things, obviously the Iran war has to get sorted. Gas price oil price has to get sorted. Let's jump back and see if that's not it. That's not it. There we go. Brent crude to 103. So I believe Brent's the better one. I believe that's the one coming from over there. Anyway, we got to get oil prices down. Needless to say. And happy pizza day. So 16 years ago today, Laszlo Hannes, Hanyecz. I don't know how to say that, but a Floridian programmer bought 2 Papa John's pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin. First transaction ever paid for with Bitcoin. Those pizzas today, that 10,000 Bitcoin today, worth $774 million. Every May 22nd, we get together and we celebrate Bitcoin Pizza Day. There's a Pizza DAO. They're running a live stream right now, I think for 24 hours, and they're giving away pizzas. There's pizza parties all throughout the world. The big Pizza DAO always puts on a party at Eat Denver. Usually, I've been to a few of those. They basically order every pizza. They basically call they clean out every pizza company in Denver. And of course, it's Denver. They like their weed. They're actually handing out blunts and joints as well. So crazy, man. But yeah, I've been to a few pizza Dow parties in my day, and I typically try and go out and have a pizza every pizza day as well. So crazy, man. I've done some stupid shit in my day, but never sold, never paid 774 million for two pizzas. But shout out to this guy. I don't remember what his story is today. Hopefully he held on to it, because think about this. If you basically, we're making 52, we used to be able to mine 52 Bitcoin, a full block on your laptop, right? No GPUs, nothing, just using a simple laptop. So it was worth anything. Think of a guy like that. When it gets to $1, he's like, oh wow, that's $10,000. That's a lot of money. I'll trade it. Really hard to hold that. Yeah, Coach Master. I was thinking about that today. My buddy Coach Master, he said we need to start a GoFundMe for this guy. I was thinking about that today. I wonder how much Bitcoin he held on to, or what his deal was, or if so, yeah, I would certainly send a couple $100 towards that, because it's like you feel for this guy, right? And hopefully he held on to some. I don't know his story. I remember I saw an interview I've seen a few interviews with him, but just offhand, I can't remember what his situation is. But damn, I know he doesn't have 774 million, but no doubt I think he could raise a few $1,000,000 for sure. But man, he gets reminded of it every year too. But listen, I'll just say this. What if Bitcoin goes to $1 million? What, 13, 14x from there? What if it goes to 10 million, which would be like 140x? What if it goes to 100 million? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, a lot of people think it'll hit. Michael Saylor I think I've heard him called for 13 million. I've heard him even hint at 21 million. Fidelity or Vanguard, one of their analysts said could hit $1 billion someday, but even 100 million would be 1,400x from today. So $1,000 would be $1 million, $1.4 million if it hit 100 million. $1,000 at 21 million, I think that would still be $1 million, right? So, no, my math's off. But anyway, so you get what I'm saying. It could be crazy. Don't be this guy. Don't be this guy, right? Let me see in Zoom Coin how many Zoom Coin I would spend if I went and say today I went and bought a $30 pizza. Okay, that would be 1,985 Zoom Coin. So if Zoom Coin hit $1, that would be $1,900. If it hit $10, that would be $20,000. So anyway, similar situations, right? I a few years ago on my Instagram, which I don't really use anymore, but I bought a Red Bull using Bitcoin with my CoinZoom card, and I made a post about how many sats it was. And it's about $30 worth. Bitcoin was about $7,000, $5,000 at the time. So yeah, I paid $30 or $40 in Bitcoin at today's price for that Red Bull. Something I can deal with. But yeah, cool day. Something to think. Keep in mind. Keep that in mind. Don't be that guy. That's why I'm so. I got in about 6 months after. I got in 2011. So less than a year after this, I remember these stories. And even then, you weren't really doing much with Bitcoin, just trading them between friends for fun. It wasn't, like I say, you could get 52 Bitcoin on your laptop every day for free. So they weren't worth much, a couple dollars, $10, $20, whatever. So anyway, that's what's up. So think about that. Not looking back. Let's learn from history. What do they say? Those who don't learn their history are destined to repeat it. Let's not repeat it. Let's know that Bitcoin can go up 1,440, maybe 1,040 times, So I don't know, but I would be buying Bitcoin. I am buying Bitcoin. Senate Banking Committee, Tim Scott just told Fox, our guy Charles Payne there, look, wearing Bitcoin orange as well. Clarity Act will pass with bipartisan support. Crypto is in America's best interest. crypto is the future of finance. So we have some big things happening. We have Kevin Warsh getting sworn in, Bitcoin friendly, and we have this Clarity Act. All these things should happen in the next, probably before the 4th of July. Kevin Warsh getting signed in today. The big catalyst, right, for good stuff to happen, even if it doesn't happen immediately. Meta has officially laid off 10% of its workforce per Fortune magazine. It sucks to get laid off. What I would suggest those people do is take their severance or whatever, buy Bitcoin. You don't really have to do anything else. Make enough money to survive. Tokenized stocks just smashed 1.6 billion market cap. Ethereum dominates this sector with 41.4% market share. I do not believe that will stay because I believe that faster, cheaper L1s will be better, like Solana, Hype, Sui, things like that, even XRP Ledger. So I don't think that trend will continue, but nonetheless, good stuff. Oh, my boy Quantum, 56.52, Hype over $6. Let's go take a look at it. Bitcoin, let's look at Bitcoin on the, that's Solana. Let's look at Bitcoin, how it's doing on the hourly. Still going down, 77, 178. But let's take a look at Hype, man. Over $6, they're saying. Near some corner, look, near 31.8. Wow. Virtual 9.1. Pretty good day. Hondo, 4.1. That's a good one. Fetch AI. I own all these. Render. Man, I was buying Render before it was ever on an exchange. All I needed to do was hold on my Render till today. I can say that about a lot of coins. Where's Hype, man? Hype, I must be blind. Here, I'm going to type it in. I know it's here in the top 100. Sorry, $61. Yeah. $61, not $6. I thought that sounded low. Yeah, Hype up 3.7% for the day. Yeah, Hyperliquid, man. Now number what? 10. Breaking into the top 10, so we can just come down here. And, man, maybe we'll have to start talking about it every day. Hyperliquid. I've been talking about it for a year and a half, but, yeah, good stuff and gaining ground. I think some of the U.S. regulators are trying to come down on him. The banks and everyone doesn't like the competition, but Hyperliquid, besides being the biggest, most successful, most fee generated probably by an app anywhere, I think they have now 14 employees. They're literally a $14.72 billion company with 14 employees. And I think that's up doubled from like 7. So one of the most successful companies ever for, employees per employee. So yeah, good stuff. Quantum, thanks for letting us know that so we can highlight it. Meta, where are we at here? House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer has opened an insider trading probe into Kalshi and Poly markets, asking both CEOs to hand over records on identity checks and suspicious trade detection by June 5th. I mean, look, does seem like there's some insider trader. I don't know if it's just that or it's just smart money. But they're looking at it for insider trading. $1,000 Hype. You heard it right here. Our guy Quantum says $1,000 Hype. Yeah, you know what? That definitely, and that's definitely a Bitcoin hits 1 million. Hype will hit 1,000, and it may not need Bitcoin to do much for it to go up. So definitely, I'm going to continue to add to my Hype position. Great, good stuff. But yeah, they're looking into it. I love it because, my question is, why doesn't someone make a decentralized one that's so decentralized that they can't be subpoenaing you and stuff like that? So, but interesting. But, part of the reason it does so good is it is quote unquote legal and kind of has some oversight. So that may be better, but I think someone should make one that's completely decentralized with nobody to subpoena, and I think that could catch, much like Hype is, right? Hype is. I'd like to. I wish Hyperliquid were. I don't know how centralized it is, but yeah, you don't want. Remember, Meta tried to launch a token, they got shut down because they had him in front of the Senate committee, House committees, all this stuff. But if you're properly decentralized, you can't do that. BNB went hard last time, and CZ has 90% of the supply. Yeah, BNB. I remember forever when BNB. I bought BNB. I don't know if I know it was under $2. It might even have been under $1, and it was at $4 forever. It was at $7 forever. It was at $14 forever. Right? Yeah, you're probably talking about not possible to be decentralized because of the yeah, no stable coin. You're right. No stable coin, fully decentralized. And yeah, listen, that's a quandary we have, right? None of us want the government and all the Wall Street shitheads in there. They're our enemies, right? But it's really not going to ever become the reserve currency of the day without some government adoption and stuff. Same thing why we're sitting here talking about why are we going blue in the face talking about the Clarity Act, because Mr. Wonderful says there's another $2 trillion waiting to come in when the Stablecoin Act, the Clarity Act passes. So there's always going to be two levels, but you're right. I mean, part of the reason why Polymarket and Kalshi do so well is because they can, they're somewhat regulated. It's limiting, but it's also empowering. It's very well, we see it on mainstream media, everything like that. And yeah, stable coins can be frozen, and stable coins are going to be more and more controlled by the man. So, but anyway, it is what it is. I don't bet on them. I don't use them, though I probably should. There's been a few bets I've wanted to take on there, but it's a great source of information for us here on the Opening Bell Crypto Show and our GM Bitcoin show that comes up after this. Gold is heading for its third month in a row, its longest losing streak in 4 years. So yeah, don't talk about volatility and stuff. Great piece. I posted it yesterday on my timeline. What's his name? The young guy that always wears the hoodie. He was debating the gold dickhead guy. I always forget that kid's name, but anyway, he just absolutely laid down the law. It was one of the best, takedowns of Peter Schiff I've ever seen. And he basically said why gold failed, why it didn't work. It doesn't have a network. For gold to be used as any kind of currency, it has to go through a centralized government exchange. Otherwise, it can't. Oh, Jack Mahlers, thank you. See, my my listeners a lot smarter than I am, have better memories. Yeah, Jack Mahlers, love that guy, man. Love that guy. And man, it was just the fact that it's not a network, it's just a freaking commodity, right? So it can't transact, it can't move at the speed of money and doesn't have that frequency. But where Bitcoin has its own network, that's the thing. Bitcoin is its own network. It's not just Bitcoin itself, it's the network. It's the whole thing. It's just better. It's better gold. It's better money. It's better everything. And he did a great job of that. And Peter Schiff, he knows. He's not that dumb. He's just getting attention and engagement farming by fighting Bitcoin. He probably owns a lot, or his wife does, kid does, whatever. I'm telling you, he's not that dumb, but he gets some good free advertising out of it. Yeah, Jack Mahler, that was great. Another sailor on here yesterday on CNBC said he thinks the Bitcoin will outrun the S&P by 30%. He said maybe it's 10, 20, Who knows? But it could be 30%, and it has been. Might even be more. Right? We had one down year, and I'm going to end this show with a rant about dipshit Mark Cuban. But Ferrari now officially accepting Bitcoin and crypto, both in the USA and Europe. Kathy Woods here with my guy Charles Payne, who follows me on X. Cool dude, man. Always talking crypto. She said that their base case, or their bull case is 1.25 million Bitcoin in 5 years or less. Their base case about 750, but she said it's going to come mostly from institutions, which are going to have to, they're going to have it to compete and to stay balanced, right? Young people sell gold to buy Bitcoin. We got a lot of boomers getting older, passing money on to their kids, grandkids. Those kids don't want gold. They want digital gold. They realize they live in a digital world. They didn't have CDs. They didn't have records. They didn't, everything's on a digital world. The kids are smarter these days. They grew up in a digital world. Digital gold, digital money makes sense to them. And also, one of the other things she said was, as economy, as emerging markets and stuff, it's obviously, basically she was saying it's a debasement. It's a hedge against debasement and government corruption, financial corruption. So let's take a look at Bitcoin, take a look at the markets in Bitcoin, and then I want to end off. It's already 8:02. Okay, listen, I have to go, but I will just say this. Mark Cuban's an idiot, right? And he just sold all his Bitcoin. It didn't perform like I thought it would, blah, 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 which is true over the last year, dumbass. But listen, now he's going to be a billionaire. He's fine. But I'll tell you what, Mr. Wonderful, who's stacking Bitcoin every day, preaching Bitcoin, he's going to own it. He won't. He's when it goes to $1 million, my official prediction is dumbass Mark Cuban will have to quit the Shark Tank because it'll be too painful for him to get on that show every day when he's Mr. Wonderful's bitch. When Mr. Wonderful is worth 50 times what he is today and Mark Cuban's the same or less. Okay? Give me a freaking break, dude. Anyway, have a great weekend. I don't think we'll be here Monday, but you can join me on the Bitcoin Morning Show.